we're back. My name is Vince Ainger, your host this morning. Chandra Kumar is with us. She is our executive director. Welcome, Chandra.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Good morning.
And,
thank you.
It's good to have you here.
Happy to be back.
And you've got lots of things, hopefully, to tell us.
I do. First of all, I'm just really happy to be back. I had a great vacation. So the past couple weeks have been pretty busy. So
You took a cruise, didn't you?
I did. I took a cruise for the first time in my life. I went to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Great experience when
Sure.
you don't have to cook or clean and
Yeah.
just enjoy all the different beaches. And then the next week we had our annual, what we call it a retreat, but it really is a strategic planning
Sure.
time that I spend with the executive team. So this was the first time that I've done it with them.
Yep.
Lots of really good thought and planning for the coming year and the remainder of this year and the coming year. And then last week I had the opportunity to attend. Ericsson has an annual associate executive director meeting. And so Brian and I were both there for that meeting.
Sure.
So.
How many are there? How many? I don't remember. How many Ericsson?
18 that
Yeah.
are up and going.
Sure.
There's another one that's going to be coming up soon.
Yeah.
There are 18 times 2 plus some of the other corporate partners,
Sure.
regional people. So.
Yeah. And where was this?
This was in Baltimore, near BWI Airport.
Yeah.
So no place really
Yes, right.
exciting, but it's exciting in the room and what we're learning and what we're hearing. So.
Sure. You could have gone to Vegas, but you get to go to Baltimore.
Yeah, no. That would have been interesting.
Sure. Excuse me. Okay, so what's going on?
So we've got actually a lot going on. Very, very happy to kick off this week with, and I think some of the residents already know that Tyshawn Wilson has started as our new dining services director, and he goes by Ty.
Yes.
Lots of experience, and we're so excited to have him.
Sure.
He came in last week and then has been spending time with Corey, who is our assistant dining services director, and we'll be spending more time with Brian onboarding and getting to know about Green Spring
Sure.
and our residents and how we do things.
Sure.
And then today also we're going to be having the kickoff of our resident satisfaction survey.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be in the cubbies, and they probably are already in the cubbies if I'm not mistaken. But the great thing is this year that the residents have the option of doing the survey online. So if you look at the bottom of the survey, there is actually a link that the residents can utilize. You don't then need to use the paper version. You
Sure.
can go online and fill it out.
Yes.
Whichever format works better. People have choices. And that's going to be happening from today and will be ending on October the 7th.
Okay.
But what the executive team is going to be doing along with the resident council is between 2 o'clock today and 6 o'clock, we will be having stations in all 3 of the main clubhouses in Town Center, Hunters Crossing, and Village Square. And so you'll get to meet and see, the executive team members will be there, and of course, our council members that are so important in the partnership that we have here at Green Spring. So
Let me ask you a question
Yes,
now
sir.
about the survey. Am I allowed to sign at the end? Can I put my signature on the survey?
that would be up to you. I mean, it's
Okay.
anonymous. We don't see who's sending it in.
Yeah. I've worked at places where we weren't allowed to sign it. And how much credence do you give to some guy who complains on his survey and then doesn't sign his name?
Well, we really do, because it's intended to be anonymous. We want to hear your feedback as our residents. I mean, we go under the premise of, we may not be perfect, but progress is really what we want.
Sure.
And we want to hear about the entire year's experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think about the one experience they've had, whether it's positive or negative, but really think about how you feel about being here at Green Spring. But the reason we keep it anonymous is because we don't want anyone to feel hesitant to give their true opinions. And so when we get the data, it's just the verbatims, meaning the words that are put into the statements. And so, we ended up in most communities with over almost 100 pages of verbatims.
Really? Yeah.
you know, and so we comb through those and see what we find as a trend. And then we'd like to be able to pinpoint those and really collaborate with the resident council, you know, to come together and see what are those areas that we need to focus on. As you can imagine, with so many people, there's so many different opinions.
Oh, yes.
Too. So,
Oh, yeah. Yes, I guess.
So the anonymity is really key.
Yeah, yeah. If you've got a complaint, you have to sign your name if you've got a complaint. Otherwise, you know, I said to Brian once, you know, you guys on the executive team, you insist that residents should have something to complain about. And once I felt really bad about that. Once after dinner in the cafe, I went up to my room and I thought, I'm not doing my fair share of complaining. And I turned out all the lights and sat in my room and tried to think. I thought, gosh, if I try real hard, I can think of a couple of things, which I was able to do. Not very important.
Well, actually, that's a good thing if you really have to think about what to complain
sure.
about. But, you know, complaining, it's not really complaining. It's an opportunity for us as a community, the staff here, you know, to do a better job and what we can always improve on what we do. So we really strive to listen.
Sure.
Do we always get everything right? No, we don't always get everything right, but we really try.
By the way, it's a call-in show, folks, and the number is on your screen up there. And I look on my cheat sheet here, and it's 703-663-3333. I think it corresponds to that on the screen. A call-in show again. So, yes, I interrupt you.
No. So we've also got the employee engagement survey, and this is similar to an employee satisfaction survey, and most people want to know what the word engagement is. And engagement to us as an organization is really a two-way street. Resident satisfaction surveys tend to find out where employee engagement survey, employee satisfaction surveys, too many surveys, at the same time, really looks at how it's a two-way street between us as employees and the enterprise and the organization. And so that's going to be kicking off on the 19th of September and going till October 7th. And that they can do online. And so there's a lot of different things going on. But I'm so excited this week. We have two really key team areas to celebrate. It's Assisted Living Week. And so the assisted living area in Garden Ridge will be celebrating with the residents and the staff. And then also it's Housekeeping Week. So please, if you get a chance to thank our housekeepers and our assisted living staff, you know, it means a lot. They do work very hard, and we're excited to be able to celebrate. I mean, they work all year long, and they get a week, and we're really happy to celebrate with them.
Yeah,
so.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't know that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because Gail comes in, does a really nice job in my apartment.
Yes.
You had a couple of operas, or you had an opera singer over. Oh wow, that was terrific.
And that is the sister of George Rallis, who is our new administrator in Garden Ridge.
Yes.
So we're very fortunate to be able to have that performance. So
the place was packed.
Yes.
And it was very good. Very good.
Probably could have had even a larger venue and still packed it.
Sure. I took my camera and I could hardly fit in. I hardly had room to get in there. Yeah.
Right. Very well attended and very well liked.
Okay. And what's happening here? So, okay. So I keep interrupting you, Chandra. I'm sorry. Oh, here she is. Is this her? On the screen. Are we on, Bob? What's going on? Keep going. All right, keep talking. All right, so again, I keep interrupting you. Another thing that's going on is the Benevolent Care Fund Drive.
Yes.
Which ends, I guess, end of September.
Yes, and we have the gala on Friday.
Right, sure.
I'm excited to see everyone all dressed up that's going to be attending. Yeah. You know, that's one of the perks of being able to come and to get to see everybody in their beautiful gowns and dresses. And so I think I'll have to clean up a little bit too to attend that. So it'll be I'm really excited, and I know there's an amazing menu that they've been working on, and you know, Kimberly's team and the dining team, and you know, all the different groups that really participate to put that together. So we're happy to have that.
Yeah, I just remind people, the fund, I guess the drive ends the end of September, but you can contribute year-round.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Put something in the monthly payment to.
It serves such an amazing purpose.
Yeah, sure.
And when you're the person that has some of those conversations with that resident who has, at no fault of their own, based on health reasons, run out of their assets, and the fact that they can remain within our community is moving.
Yeah.
Very, very moving.
Yeah. Last week sometime, I think it was Kathleen Taylor maybe who was on, and I got to see a breakdown of the residents by age. We had something like 6, maybe 8 people over 100 years old. A large number of our residents are in their 90s. People who handle their finances very responsibly, but gosh, you get to be 100 years old and you have some medical expenses, and you need some help. And so the Benevolent Care Fund folks just contribute year-round. And what's going on with repositioning now? That's an endless topic.
It is an endless topic. We are actually tomorrow. I do have one of the architects coming out to review some of the areas in town center because we are looking at changing the time frame. Originally, when Garden Ridge was supposed to start, we were supposed to wait 2 years to go out and complete town center. But we've decided, based on the fact that Garden Ridge has taken a little bit longer than anticipated, that we will move the town center repositioning up, potentially after the first year of Garden Ridge's main building going up, so it's not as disruptive. We will go to doing the town center area. So his team is coming out tomorrow to walk around again and see, kind of what some of the ideas are going to be and what our feedback is. But once we start to get a little more information on the design for that area, and for Garden Ridge, we do have plans that are being revised. We will be including the resident groups. There's a resident group that's been part of, the design phase to, get feedback from the residents and the council. And the council's really kind of helped to drive that with us. So, we're hoping that, I know the windows. We've gotten a window chosen.
Sure.
And there's progress on that. I don't have the exact date, but we should be starting. I know that I'm going to say prior to the end of the year because I don't want to say a date and then come back and have to change that.
Yeah. But that's very fluid, isn't it?
It is. But there has been good movement. In addition, if you notice outside of Garden Ridge, there's been some digging and some sidewalks being put in, and that was based on the survey by the fire marshal that came back and said we needed to have some areas of egress that were not on grass. And so there is some concrete sidewalks that are being put in, which was not communicated in the same way. So it is not really part of the original plan for repositioning, but based on the fact that the fire marshal's office has, they do a survey, so that we needed it. We moved quickly to make sure that the residents' areas are, safe based on their assessment.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the building's been there for over 14 years and they never said anything before, but it's always an opportunity to do something differently as needed.
So you were testing windows for a while. You had some windows in a few selected apartments that you were...
We actually had it in one of our REOC apartments, and then there was a mock-up that the residents and staff were able to go in, had some really good feedback on how it worked and the mechanics of it. And,
Sure.
but for us, we want to make sure that it's not just the window, but it's the installation. And so we get the right kind of installation also.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you had selected one, so apparently there were various.
Yes.
Can't afford to make a mistake.
Try not to.
Well, the windows cost a lot going across the whole campus.
And it's disruptive to each individual in their apartments. We'll try to minimize that, but there is going to be some disruption.
Yeah.
Taking windows out, putting new windows in, making sure they're appropriately installed.
My apartment overlooks the courtyard. Gosh, it's nice up there. I'm up on the top floor, Walden Court. It's a beautiful view. And I just worry about losing some trees in all of this, repositioning.
So you look out to that courtyard where the pool is.
Yes, yes.
Potentially there will be some trees that will be taken out because that footprint is going to be, larger than what's there right now for the size of the pool.
Sure.
But absolutely, we live in a county that is, is very environmentally friendly, and so we as the Green Spring will also want to make sure, the least disruption as possible. That means is used. Having said that, there will be trees that will be needing to come down. I don't know which ones. I don't know how many.
Yes.
But realistically, I'd rather let everyone know that that is something that's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. So how is the job going so far? Is it going all right for you?
Yes, sir, it is. I'm learning something new every day. And hopefully I'm able to bring some of my knowledge and skill sets to the job. It's a great opportunity for me to be bonding with each of you as residents and the staff. So it's been a great ride.
Yeah, I have a fly here on my cheat sheet. I remember years ago watching late night news in Syracuse, New York, and the guy who was bringing the news, he just lost it completely over a housefly. So maybe I'll do that before we're done.
Better you than me.
No, I remember Jean Landreville, who was fairly early in her tour, and she was in a general meeting of some sort and taking a lot of tough questions. And I remember she very famously said once, she said, "I think the honeymoon is over." so when you got announced, I thought, oh dear, I hope it goes all right for her. And once we're down to 10 minutes here, it's a call-in show, folks. A call-in show, and there's the number on your screen. Call and ask Chandra whatever questions you might have. I once went with my neighbor, my next-door neighbor in Walden Court. She and her medical aide and I, we went down to Cracker Barrel in Dumfries, and I found outside there was a sign, a wooden sign, and the etching on the sign said, "No whining." I couldn't pass that up. I bought that sign, brought it back to Jean. I said to Jean, "I know residents are not supposed to be gifting to staff, but I'm going to loan you this sign so that when you need it, or anyone in your staff, when you go off to brief the residents, you can take that sign with you and post it outside of the room." So it's a tough job. I know it's a tough job. One of the things I'm supposed to ask you, Chandra, the guys on the camera here, they were wondering when the volunteers get a pay raise.
Oh, well, I don't know if that's in my jurisdiction, but if I could do it, if I had a magic wand, I would do it.
Yeah. Well, once in a while we are gathered before the show. We might gather down in the lobby here in Village Square, and Diane will come by, and I'll say, "Diane, sorry, this is a union meeting. That's what takes place."
Okay.
Okay. What else now?
Well, volunteers, I think, are such a key component of what Green Spring is. We've clocked in over 100,000 hours in volunteer hours. And that really shows the vibrancy of our resident population, not just, when you talk about the physical piece of it, but in the sense of, people are mentoring and tutoring, and they're really giving and sharing their gifts. And even today we have, we have the Northern Virginia Senior Olympics here. Sure. Yes. For a Wii tournament. Yeah. But even that takes volunteer staff and our staff, but it really, enhances not just the lives of our residents within the community, but affords opportunities to people outside of the community, maybe because the greater community really is important to us. And, I think our residents are always trying to do something, and I'm just amazed at how much. This is not a retirement community, I always say, and people ask me that question all the time.
Yeah. No, you can very easily get oversubscribed. We've got a call, Chandra, and
I'm always excited.
Lowering the volume now.
Okay. Do we have a caller?
Yes,
Oh.
I have a question in regard to the CVS pharmacy taking over. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse this morning, but I was told that when CVS has an ad in the paper, that doesn't apply to us. Like they were putting a 2-for-1 sale in, and we can't take part in that. But this is supposed to be a CVS thing. So then I went back. I've been back 3 times, and I get a different answer as to the reason. I don't know whether it's just that they are paying a fee to be here, or we're charging them a fee to be here. But I don't know why residents of Green Spring are excluded.
I actually would have to find out for sure. I'm not sure what the answer to that is, but I can get back to you when we have the coffee with the exec. Either we can do that, or if I can get your name and number, I can give you a call back with that response. For the pricing in the sense of the items, I know that the pharmacy here has very limited items. Not to the extent absolutely what a general CVS store would have.
That's the first time I've heard that. Going back to the volunteer, you mentioned 100,000 hours. Is that a yearly number? I've forgotten. I've heard these numbers and I don't remember them, but it's a yearly number?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, that's 50 people if they worked full time. That's good. That's a lot of volunteering. We've got 5 minutes, Chandra, and I've run out of things to ask you, I think. So, anything else on the agenda here? We've talked about repositioning and the benevolent care fund and the windows being installed. When that's going to start now, I guess soon. The installation of windows.
Right, so we have all of our pieces that we need to get in place. We're just waiting for a few more things, and then so I'm hoping a few more items in the sense of the installation piece of it. So I'm hoping we should start before the end of the year. We'd like to start before it gets cold, but I'll be able to find out this week at some point. Yeah. So when we have coffee with the executive team, we'll be able to give more of an update on where we are with that. You know, this has been a pretty busy time, along with the survey starting. We're also in our budget season. You know, so the new budget for 2017, the team's been working on with our corporate partners.
We have a call.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, caller, you're on with Chandra.
My name is Helmut Grahamberg. I'm at Walden Court 321. And I have a question about the replacement windows. Most of us have some blinds installed at our expense. And I wonder if they're going to be affected by all this. And if they are, I think Green Spring somehow should pay for it, rather than us having to pay again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. So if there is an installation where there is a blind that needs to be taken down and put back up, that's something that we would be responsible for. We would not expect you as the residents to have to pay for that.
That sounds good.
In most cases, there are ways to detach either blinds or valances. People have drapes. And if we need to take them down, we would take them down in the installation and then reinstall them.
Yeah.
I do want to say, looking at the mock windows, that the new windows are going to be a little different. And so they might not work too well with our blinds. That's my other concern. So for what it's worth, I wanted to comment on that.
Okay. You mean in the way that they open or close?
Yeah. Right now, the windows go left to right. The new ones go up and down. And that has some bearing on our blinds. So, you know, the details might be a little inconvenient to us.
Okay. Well, you know, absolutely. I think if you let us know, we can take a look at it. As long as you're still able to open and close your blinds, well, there may be a different flow, but as long as there's still
they're getting old, yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
I said that's part of the problem. They're getting old, the blinds, and they don't go easily up and down anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, that would be something that as a resident that you would be responsible for in that sense, in the sense of taking them off and putting them back up. That is something that we would help as we do the installation.
Well, I think it's unfair if we have to pay for any of it because, I didn't ask for new windows. It's not my idea. As a matter of fact, I think my windows are all fine, but I guess somebody has a problem. So anyway, if it ends up with us having to pay for new blinds, I would hate to see that.
Well, I'm hoping that wouldn't be the case, but individually, someone from our general services department would have to assess, what your individual concerns are in your apartment based on your blind. If you've got issues with the age of the blind,
Yeah.
all of those factors we need to look at individually.
Okay, I've said what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Yeah, I know my windows, they leaked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They leaked a little bit in the winter and in the summer as well. And I have some amount of difficulty opening and closing my windows, but that's because I'm aging. The windows are all right. I think, Chandra, we're down to about a minute here. Folks, you got a minute to call. 1 minute we have left. 1 minute to call if you want to ask Chandra any questions or make any comments. And any last things? Any last comments you want to make?
No, I'm enjoying this beautiful weather. I hope we
Yeah.
can keep it.
Yeah.
Lots going on this next couple of weeks, so please make sure if you have an opportunity to please fill out the satisfaction surveys. We really do value your opinion. The staff works really hard all year long, and they try their best. As I said, we really go for, we're not perfect, but we really truly try to have good progress. And we value your opinion, so please take the time. You now have an online version also, which should make it easier for some people, but always you can still do the paper version. And if for some reason you do lose it, which happens sometimes, you can still come by the admin office and pick up an extra copy.
I take mine out of the cubby, which is in town center, and I sit there at one of those tables in the lobby area, and I just do it. It's over. Yeah. All right, I don't know, we're coming to the end here. Chandra, I thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to your next visit.